Esports, well, they're out here breaking all our predictions. They are 1-0 leading the series up against Divine. And what a good start we have here. Omo and Tipper's back on this Darius. He's here to make a play.
He is back on this Darius, but I say the plays are gonna come from Ton X here on this river and everyone doing a bit of moonwalking as we get into the game. I mean, a bit of a salty run back like our death skit. That's pretty much the truth. But I do want to point out, I think there are some nice little adaptations from both of these teams. And I think that both of the changes to the mid lane champions really fit what both of these teams want to do individually. G4, he's coming to the game and he's saying, you know what? When we take these team fights, when we take these skirmishes against Divine, they didn't really work out. Let's not do that the next game. Let's just chill, wave clear, farm under our tower, and wait for them to dive us again. He changes, pivots around, picks up the Orianna, which will fit that role so much better. And you have Coyote saying, you know what? Maybe Fizz just isn't it. And then he goes for Ari, which is a good counter pick to the Orianna. It's a very good setup for the Lee Sin, and it makes sure that the skirmishes are so strong. Oof, Tipper.
I mean, run it back. This is what happened in game number 1 as well. Ton X, you know, he's just in a dominant position in lane. Takes both sums away from Tipper. I'm curious if this is going to actually convert into an advantage. Len's going to make his way to the top side. This is it. They're looking for a dive. They're going to jump on the Tipper.
Boy.
Len's walking in. There we have it. When the Sonic Wave resonating strike has to flash away from the turret, the Emperor Hen will be enough to deter the Lee Sin. And what a start from both teams.
And Tipper will live for now. He will get out of dodge. Ton X, though, he's going to get a bit of a lead. He's going to be able to shove this into the turret and reset. It's going to be a pretty nice situation for him to be in. I think the cannon wave means that Tipper doesn't miss all too much. Ton X, though, the main thing to take note of right now, he has the flash advantage. Len does blow his own flash, but Ton X, he's going to be happy with the next couple of skirmishes. Going to be able to flash dodge things like the Hammerage and whatnot. It will give him a lead over Tipper. Now the question is, if they do get that lead, what do they do this time around? Because last game, Divine, we got to keep in mind, their solos had a massive lead, but they weren't able to find anything with it. What's going to happen this time around?
Something that I want to point out is that Divine Esports is going to run it back again with the Zyrakan bot side.
Yeah.
And we can have a lot of criticism for Divine. One criticism I don't think we share is Quay, I think he did a great job in the last game. And so going back on this Rakan, still feel like it's a very impactful pick. Ton X against Tipper, you know, this is a pretty aggressive lane overall.
It is going to be a very aggressive lane, and we saw this in the last game as well, right? Both of these players trading sums, trading HP. It's a very extremely aggressive lane. I'm really running out of adjectives to describe it, but this lane is really going to be an important factor.
It's a Ton X style lane.
It's
That's
a
all you
Ton
have
X
to say.
Tipper lane. I think you got to keep that in mind. It's these two powerhouses. When we talk about who the best Baron laners are coming into the tournament, these guys are definitely in contention, in the top 3, in the top 5, something along those lines. So it's not surprising that we're seeing here in this matchup, these players are really just duking it out.
Being able to get some form of a lead early on is going to be really impactful, because once they start playing around the Dragon, around the Rift Herald, I mean, just having the stronger Baron lane is what's probably going to tip the favors onto your side. And so as those objectives start to spawn up, Koi is already starting to rotate. Len is going to be up the top side. I'm curious if this is going to once again be Divine Esports and EVOS Esport contesting for this Dragon, especially since it's that Infernal.
Yeah, it's going to be very likely. I mean, we saw what happened last game when it hit the 4-minute mark on cue. As the timer dinks 4, both of these teams, they are setting up for the 5v5. We saw a 5-0 mid setup from EVOS, while Divine, they were doing a bit of a 4-1 situation, pushing out the bottom lane as well. But the most important thing to take note of was that Divine, they managed to get the setup. They managed to find the picks before they started the Dragon fight. They don't have the Fizz, but they have the Ari this time around. So that's going to be a very viable option for them yet again. And here we go, Divine, as if on clockwork. They're setting up, they're in position. Anyone walks in river, they're going to die. What's this?
Oh my goodness, the Broken Wings come across Ton X, flashes away for the decimating strike, but the bleed will take him down, his first blood. And like you mentioned, Omo, they needed to find the picks. Instead, they get caught off, but they're jumping on the G4 instead, trying to equalize in the mid lane. Nice shotwave comes across. Quay will almost go down, but Veldas won't be able to convert that into a kill. They're jumping on the Hope 1 Nyx, and they might be able to take down Len in this process, because look at the damage coming across from Veldas. They found the Lee Sin and Jungler dead on Divine Esports.
Things are looking bad here for Divine. It seems like EVOS, they have cracked the code. They have figured out the way Divine, they want to play this. They know they're going to set up. They know that they're going to camp here for you to face check. They're going to look for picks. And the moment EVOS did that, Divine, they pounce on them. The problem is this time around, EVOS, they are waiting in the wings. Valdez is here to counter-engage. Rich and Ketsutan, they are in position. And now the Tipper, he got the lead for himself with the solo kill. He's gonna come down first. He's gonna be in position first. They're gonna push out the waves first. Divine, you know how they are. You know how they are. You know how these Vietnamese teams play. They're not gonna give you an objective. They're not gonna give you an inch without
Absolutely
fighting
not.
over it, without bleeding for it. And here we go again. They want this.
I mean, both sides' ultimates on cooldown, a lot of the summoners down as well, so it's really a question who performs better without those massive spells. Divine Esports now looking to try and collapse, get tempo, get control back around the Dragon Pit, and look at Tipper, he's down the bottom side. It's gonna take some time to rotate back over, but not long enough that Divine Esports can sneak away this Dragon.
No, but the Dragon's already been started. It's dropping really slowly because no one wants to use spells on it. This might be a bit tricky here because Lan, he's taking quite a bit of damage.
Absolutely, Tipper's going to walk in now. Here we have it. Rich is going to lead the charge. Explosive cast separates the backline. Divine Esports are so lost, have no idea where the fight is going. Tipper's going to take down the first. No jungler, no smite. Divine Esports still sees Tunex trying to jump back in to play the exile. Broken Wings will take down one more, but Veldis chasing after the sole remaining members of Divine Esports. They have to flash over the wall to survive.
It's a 2-for-2 here, Grandin, but Divine, they lose their jungler first, which means that EVOS, they pick up the Fire Dragon. Now, the Rift Herald is still alive, Grandin, and you know what that means, right? We're gonna see a bit of a brawl here in the mid lane.
It's Charm on the Tipper, Ignite ticking down low. Dawning Shadow comes across, will keep the Darius safe. And EVOS Esports once again not punished here.
Yeah, EVOS, they trade 2-for-2, but they get the first turret, and this is gonna be Rift Herald started off by Divine. It's a bit of a deja vu situation. It's kind of what we saw in the last game. EVOS, they don't really care about the Herald. They're willing to just let you have it. If you spend the time to take it, they will raise you on the other side of the map, and then you have to spend the Rift Herald getting the same objective that they just took without it. Well, you know, just as I say that, they don't need it this time.
I think this is deja vu, but on the opposite side, because I think EVOS were the ones that lost the Dragon fight last game and then got the Rift Herald and then broke open the Baron lane. So it's almost as if the script has been flipped on its head.
A little
bit. Divine Esports are now the ones to lose tempo here.
They lose out on the tempo, and now the good news for Divine Esports is they still have the Rift Herald. They didn't need to expand it to trade towers, and with that, that's going to be so extremely important here. What do we see Divine struggle with in the last game, Grandin? They had problems breaking open mid and opening the map up. They couldn't find the ways to open the map up. Now with Rift Herald still available, you're really gonna hard counter the Orianna because she just wants to sit mid, clear waves. Now she can't do that anymore if you just slam the Herald down on the mid turret.
I'm curious if they're also gonna use this to maybe pull pressure away from Tunex or Coyote or whoever it's gonna be while in a split push kind of situation. Last game we kind of identified that Divine Esports was supposed to run at 1v1 and they didn't exactly execute according to the win conditions. This time around, maybe might try to pull for something like that instead. But going into this, EVOS Esports have been doing such a great job controlling the lanes. Rift Herald going to be used mid lane. EVOS Esports coming back in. They're collapsing quickly. That's explosive catch. They find the catch right onto Hope 1. He can only jump up. But the Feather Storm won't save him because the bleed comes across. Len uses the Dragon Rage to disengage. But oh my goodness, EVOS.
And Gamenism, how did EVOS win the fight the last game? How did they turn it around the last game? It's in the exact same position. They find Hope 1 at the mid turret. They cast him into your turret. They chain CC him. And they blow him up, take the fight, and now they want more yet again.
Once again, it's Quaid has to be the one to engage and jump into the mid side. Nice catch from the center. And Coyote has Spirit Rush away. Rich is looking low, but unfortunately, Len won't be able to finish off the kill. EVOS once again back on for free.
They have to back off, and we see a bit of a 1v1 here, but what's interesting in the side lane is not Tipper, it's not G4 catching the side waves, it's Valdez on this Fiora. He's level 10, he's a level up on your Baron laner. This jungler, he's gonna be a hyper carry yet again, and it seems like this time around, EVOS, they're identifying we can control the side lanes, we can push the side lanes, and we have the priority here. Tunex, he's forced to back away from Valdez, and this is such a tricky situation to be in. You don't win the 5v5s, you don't win the side lanes. What do you do as Divine?
Homo, is this the EVOS Esports playoff buff? Is this
what
we're expecting to see from them? They've come in here looking so much better than they did in the group stage, and it almost seems like they've been holding their cards back.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Not wanting to expose everything so early on.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that they were, you know, like sandbagging or hiding strats or anything along those lines. It just seems like they found their groove here, right? In game 1, things were definitely not looking good for EVOS. It looked like what we expected from the series. But suddenly, Divine, they just seem to have lost their groove, and EVOS, they found theirs, which is exactly what we're going to need to look out for in the series as we're going into the next pivotal Dragon fight here.
Dragon available, Baron also available, so whichever team loses this one could very likely see the Baron go over to the other side. This time around though, EVOS Esports won't have an easy fast track into the opponent's base, so Divine have a lot more leeway to make an aggressive move here. And now with this charm, I'm curious if this is actually going to change things.
No damage, right? And this is what went wrong in game 1. EVOS, they had their carry clipped by the fish. This time around, they're setting up so much better. Tipper is always in front. Rich is always in front. They'll block the skill shot. What's Valdez doing?
He's playing a 1v2. He doesn't care about what Divine Esports have to say. He's just jumping in on them. Tarnex goes so low at the start of the fight. And Len, he's out of commission. He can't join back in. Walks away from the shockwave. Coyote trying to kite away. G4 is going to come across. Runs out of mana. So Len tries to move back in. Gets caught by the apprehend. And will go down. The flash won't save him. But the Dragon's Rage might.
There is still the Dawning Shadows. Is he going to try to snipe this? Guess not.
Katsin is going to hold on to that Dawning Shadow into the mid lane. Instead, he's going to save Rich for now. Hugh comes across. The Ignite won't be enough to take him down. Quay dashes away. Tarnex gets out as well. And Divine Esports will be able to escape without losing anybody in this fight.
But look at their health bars. They're all blinking red. One more damage. One more tick of health. And multiple members of Divine, they would have dropped in the fight. And how did it all begin? Valdez, he was in their jungle. Like you said, he was 1v2ing. And you know what the crazy part is? He was winning the 1v2 against Len and Tarnex. He used his out, sure, but he chunked them so low that they just weren't able to contest. And if you get Divine low before they can set up, you see what happens. They kind of fall apart. Divine, they looked so lost. They didn't know what to do, where to go. They had no options. And EVOS, they are just looking like they're in full control. They found their playoffs form, I guess, because Divine, they have no answers.
Len getting so much closer to the Guardian Angel, but it's still a distance away, and so this next fight, he won't quite have that to be able to make these aggressive moves. Instead, he's going to have to recall, reset, come back into this. EVOS Esports now, I'm curious if this is going to be the chance for them to start putting pressure on the Baron, force Divine to walk into them, because they have key ultimates like that Shockwave that make them such a threat around these neutral objectives.
I think it's gonna be a bit hard here to start the Baron for EVOS because you don't have significant enough damage to make it really convincing. What I think they really want to do here, you can be patient. Let your Orianna farm, let your Fiora farm, let your Senna get souls. Wait for every dragon to spawn, set up first, 5-5, front to back. You are never losing a fight to Divine. They are running out of options. If you look at Valdez for the last 2 minutes, he's eaten the entire map of farm. Top to bot, he farmed everything. 10,000 gold right now. This Fiora, he is gonna be a raid boss. No one on Divine can fight him, Brandon.
Well, he's looking stronger and stronger. I mean, he's getting closer to the Muramana as well, and so that's something to watch out for. Divine will suffer against EVOS in the mid side, who are looking to try and crash in the wave.
That's
get
not
the
it.
Back onto Hope Wang. Quay just jump in as well.
Tarnex.
The flank comes across from Tarnex. Might be able to find something, but look at how little damage they have. Won't be able to take anyone down. The Ignite's coming across from Tarnex, but he's going to get collapsed on. Rich jumping in with a body slam. They look to take down the Riven, chasing after some more. EVOS Esports are pressuring Divine and forcing them to make a move, forcing them to make a play.
Lamb playing with a bit of fire there, but like you said, there's really nothing that Divine can do. They are pressured to make a play. Why? Because Valdez is killing your entire top side. He solo killed Coyote. Keep in mind here, Brandon, Ari has 3 dashes. He even expanded Flash. So 4 dashes and you cannot get away from Valdez? That's probably a sign that this one is over here for Divine. I gotta be honest with you. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. You have nowhere to go!
Truly unfortunate for Coyote. Such a difficult spot to be in now that he can't deal with Valdez at all. While Divine are going to try and get some control around the Baron, because if they don't get this now, it's going to be so difficult.
Yeah, you have to flip
this. They can steal something away again. Valdez is going to suffer a little bit of damage against Divine Esports, but they hesitate to pull the trigger. The rest of EVOS, no information on where they are.
Yep. Divine, they can no longer let the game go on in its current game state. The longer it goes, the more they're gonna bleed. They can never fight Fiora on the side lane ever again. Valdez is not someone who's likely to throw the game. He's a very stable player. He can make the plays, and here we go.
Look at Veldus. Look at the bank of Veldus. So much damage coming across, but he's still gonna go down perhaps. Calling Shadow comes in, keeps him alive a little bit longer.
Oh, here we go, kick.
Exactly like you mentioned. They get the kick back onto G4. Might be able to take down the Orianna quickly enough. A little bit more damage will do the job. Unfortunately, he's still surviving, still alive at this point. Rich coming in, he takes down Hope 1. What a snipe from the Gragas. Teleport coming back in from TonX. Looking to join back into the fight, but look at the damage coming across from EVOS. Where is this coming from? You thought that Veldus was a damage source? Well, just kidding, because now Ketsunen is looking just as strong, just as deadly. They're looking to get down onto TonX. And might be able to find the Revenant. He's just dashing across, maybe looking to get away. But Tipper has his number. The bleed is slowly ticking him down. He's running down the river, but Rich joining back in as well. The last auto attack from Darius finds it. And Divine have lost 3.
And this is destruction here for Divine. They cannot do anything against the members of EVOS. This is going to be a free Baron as well. The only positive upside, Len is still alive. Maybe he can steal this?
Is this going to be a repeat? Can Coyote maybe make something happen again? Make a miracle play happen? Lens coming back in. And they're going to try and prevent this. Rich just by the side, looking to try and stop them. Hope coming out as well. Lens holding by the angle, trying to get information, trying to jump into the pit, but so difficult. 2,000 left on the Baron. Lens jumping into the pit now, but they're holding on. They're waiting, not looking to take this one down just yet. It's going to be Veldus that secures it this time around. And Coyote losing HP to G4 over by the side, who's flanked them, who's coming with the shockwave, who's taking them down. Hope 1 will fall, and Veldus chasing after the third.
You've got nowhere to go.
Can Coyote get away? He won't be able to. It's a triple kill for this Fiora.
Next game, you need to ban away this Fiora. Veldus is just a ticking time bomb. And you know what's really insane to me, Gaminism? The best Fiora player that we're seeing at this tournament is a jungler. He's not even a Baron laner. He's the one that understands the champion. He's the one that knows what he needs to do. And EVOS Esports, they play so much better in Game 2. A much more solid performance. They stem the tide of the Divine aggression, and they are going to pull ahead to match point here.
Watch out for PlayOffs bust EVOS Esports. They take down the final kill. TonX will fall as the Nexus follows soon after. 2-0 for EVOS Esports.
14-5 EVOS Esports. This is a